Hi, good morning everybody. How are you guys doing? As Rich said, and thank you Rich, I really appreciate it. My name is Matt Witemyre. I'm a shop steward with the Small Medical Cannabis Cooperative in Northern California, and I'm also the Cannabis Industry Coordinator for UFCW Local Number 5, the Special Operations Department. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. I'm here to let you guys know, to let all the patients, the caregivers, the cultivators, and the providers down here in San Luis Obispo that we stand with you in solidarity for safe access to medical cannabis. Thank you. Also want to thank Rich Donald and everybody here who showed up this morning, San Luis Obispo ASA, all of the other organizers and folks who came out in the cold to stand here early this morning and talk a little bit about some of the injustice that's happening here. So you guys should give yourself a big round of applause for showing up this morning. Now, what we're trying to do right now is unionize the cannabis industry. What UFCW is doing, and with being involved in this industry, our collective bargaining agreements are going to serve as the first line of regulation. Our collective bargaining agreements are going to be the first line of defense from potential problems. We're going to establish employment standards and get away from the current, we like to call the plantation economy, where people are paying $20, $50, growing in their house, selling a bag of marijuana. We want to move this to an industry with dignity and where we won't have to have situations like this going on any longer. This is just not satisfactory. Okay, can you guys hear me a little better now? I guess apparently I wasn't holding it to my mouth. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Now, unionization is also going to establish training, protocols, and best practices for the industry. And most importantly, what we're trying to do is bring dignity to this industry. We're going to bring dignity to the community, to the workers, and to the employers here.
Get closer to your mouth.
Oh, again. Okay, sorry. Thanks. I'm not used to speaking out of a bullhorn. This is a new one for me today, so I'm pretty excited. So bear with me on figuring out the kinks of this. Now, some of the other things that we're working on is to develop a commercial standard. Take cannabis out of this basement take cannabis out of the basement, out of the back rooms, and move it into a business environment. Our goal is to get people to stop growing cannabis at home and go down and rent a store, open up a business, get your business license, do everything properly. Make sure that things are safety. Make sure that we've got proper inspections, of, so that people aren't using bootleg power, extension cords, nuisance laws, causing problems for their neighbors, etc. The law of the land is settled here in California. Medical marijuana is the law of the land. Yes. Prop 15 passed 15 years ago, and we're standing here talking about people being arrested for providing medicine to patients. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. Absolutely, absolutely.
How are we supposed to follow the law?
Now, speaking on that directly, I came down here from Northern California last night and was reading newspaper articles trying to get caught up as much as I could on this situation. And I saw a quote that really struck me last night in the San Luis Obispo Tribune from the story on Sunday, the 9th, this past week. This quote here is from Rodney John, commander of the San Luis Obispo County Narcotics Force. So here's what I saw in this article. But Rodney John, commander of the San Luis Obispo County Narcotics Force, disagreed. The guidelines are opinion, he said, not California law. The law does not state that collectives or cooperatives can sell marijuana, he said.
I voted for a law.
That is a slap in the face to Governor Jerry Brown, who wrote these guidelines in 2008. It's a slap in the face to the Office of the Attorney General, the highest elected law enforcement official of the land. And it's a slap in the face to Kamala Harris, who was elected in large support from the medical cannabis community. So I think that we need to hear from them and see why we're spending this kind of resources for ridiculous charges. Earlier this morning, I saw on the news that Governor Brown thinks we need to cut $12.5 billion from the budget, and that's largely going to come out of our education dollars. Now, is it really the priorities that we want to have a 2-month investigation taking 45 to 50 police officers to show that medical cannabis cooperatives are dispensing medical cannabis? It's outrageous and it should not stand. So with that, I just want to say again, thank you guys for showing up and that we stand with you. And the last thing I wanted to mention too is that here again with the union, with UFCW, we're reaching out to the Attorney General, to the U.S. attorneys, to the members of law enforcement, to the federal government, and the local elected officials to create workable regulations that everyone can live with. We're encouraging elected officials, community leaders, and anyone with concern to contact us. Again, UFCW, the Union of Food and Commercial Workers. Medical cannabis is an industry that is... That's great. All right. Last thing I'm going to say, guys, is that the cannabis industry is a retail, agriculture, and food processing industry. UFCW is the natural union to represent these workers, and we want to bring safe practices and dignity to this industry. So thank you all for showing up, and again, solidarity for all those who are unjustly arrested.